So, living in San Francisco, I'm at the forefront of technology and AI, meaning I've been using AI for over a year now, and it's basically become my new Google. I realized I was overspending, but I had no idea how or why. I didn't feel like I was spending a lot of money, but every month with Apple Pay and auto subscriptions, money just disappears, and $20 here and there began to add up. So, I decided to use AI to investigate my spending and automatically categorize it so that I could see how much I was spending and if there was a way to solve it that wouldn't drastically change my quality of life. So, today I'm going to take you through that process and live judge my finances to figure out what to fix. My early guess is I probably just need to stop buying clothes and stop booking flights, but let's find out. This is only a 3-step process and can take as little as 10 minutes. That's really all it takes, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So, step 1, get your credit card statements. I'm going to go to American Express and I'm going to log in. All right, this is one of my cards, and then I also have a Delta Sky Miles card. So, what I'm going to do is download my statements, and I think I'm just going to download my most recent billing statement. I'm going to do screen reader optimized just so that ChatGPT can very easily interpret all the information. I'm going to take my Delta card and I'm going to download that one as well. So there's last month's statements. And then I'm going to go into ChatGPT. So I pasted in my statement and said, here are my credit card statements. I want it categorized and let me know where I'm spending too much. And if you don't know where something goes, just ask. So often ChatGPT and different AIs will just try and fill in the blanks for you on things that you don't give very exact answers to. So I want to make sure that it's not going to just take the easy way out, basically, and anything it doesn't really understand in my credit card statement, it just interprets as other and throws it in a box because the other is probably where the biggest problem is. It's really easy to see what you're spending on groceries every month, but it's pretty hard to understand what the other is when it's just all jumbled into this one big pile of like parking tickets and like lifts and dry cleaning and health insurance and all this random stuff that is just doesn't fit in like a typical nice category. So I'm going to wait. It'll probably take us a second to analyze it and then we'll take a look. Okay, so it did a really good job actually of being very specific. It only ended up with $4.15 of misc. Just to be very exact, I'm going to ask it what the misc is, and it's a travel retail store. I actually know exactly what it is. It was a Cliff Bar in the airport. So I'm going to put that into food because that was me picking up a Cliff Bar before flight. So here is my spending by category. Transportation was $900, entertainment $600, dining $550, clothing $490, groceries $200, shopping $193, bar and nightlife $100, parking $97. That is a parking ticket. Pharmacy $71, fitness $57, education $44, and digital $23. So those are all my charges for my last credit card statements. So obviously there's ones that are much higher than others. So I want to go through all of the high ones, but the first thing I'm going to ask is if ChatGPT is noticing anything that I can't see yet because it hasn't told me all of the exact transactions. So I'm just asking based on the transactions if it thinks I'm spending too much anywhere or at recurring places. So it's mostly saying clothes. I spent too much on clothes, $400, which I did, but I did return $200 of that. Porter Airlines, I bought $317 of tickets. Yes, that is fine. I'm okay with that because those tickets are to go home to visit family. Amazon, $164 across 6 transactions. The biggest thing that I buy on Amazon is like dog food, dish soap, those type of things. So $164 for a month of spending isn't actually overwhelming for me. Lyft is saying I spent a little bit much, $56, but that's not actually on 4 rides. Each week I use Lyft city bikes to travel around the city, and I spent $56 total on e-bikes in a whole month. So that's actually super cheap. Every time I e-bike, I'm not Ubering. So across a month, only spending $56 on transport is actually very good in my opinion. And Shoppers Drug Mart, $50. So that's just a drugstore in Canada. All of those purchases were just things that I needed that cost $50. So I'm okay with that. Clothing, it is totally right. Half a grand. The way it even put that, half a grand, is just offensive and totally hits me. Yes, in fact, I did spend too much. The other thing I want to drill into is my dining out. So I'm worried that when I'm dining out, it's not actually me sitting and enjoying meals with friends, which I'm totally okay spending a little bit of money on and not going crazy. I was home in Toronto visiting all my friends, so I was eating a lot of dinners in the past month, but I want to make sure that I'm not spending on like coffee and takeaway and unnecessary things when there's always food at home. So I'm going to ask about that. So now it's going to analyze all those transactions again and show me what I'm spending money on. All right. So it said, do you want me to break down takeout versus coffee and meals? Which is exactly what I wanted to do. I just want to make sure that the money I'm spending on dining is for dates and experiences and things that are worth it. Over 37% of my dining went to takeout and coffee. So I spent $200 $200, which is pretty high for me. I think in the next month I could probably, and that meal number will also go down because I was dining out with my friends too much. So I think my answer here to why did I overspend has been perfectly said by ChatGPT. I spent almost half a grand on clothing and $200 on takeout and coffee and $350 on meals. So those are the major things that I need to cut down on. I am pretty confident that I could cut clothes to basically zero in the next month, and I could also reduce meals and takeout and coffee by $100 each. That's how I use ChatGPT in order to figure out my overspending. It is a super quick thing to do, and it's really, really helpful that I can just download credit card statements and somebody else can do all the work of scanning through it and doing all the math and adding things up and understanding percentages, because frankly, I don't have time for it and I don't want to do it. And if I had to do it myself, I wouldn't do it. So this gives me a little more flexibility in terms of being able to see what my budget actually looks like. If you're interested, you should totally try it as well. It's super easy. As you can see, it only takes 10 minutes and you can go back and forth with it and get as deep or not deep as you want with ChatGPT.